Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is kind of a spur of the moment video. I'm headed to the range. Didn't really plan it out very much, so I don't even have like extra cameras to show targets, hits on target. So it's gonna be very archaic video, but we're still gonna do it. Today we're shooting the 6.5 PRC, 143 grain Bondstrike with N560. And in today's video, it's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna put my suppressor on it and see what kind of accuracy we get with it. Should be fun. Okay, here's what we got. We're gonna start a little lower than last time. Let's see what 54.7 gives us. Unfortunately, I only got 2 shots. I think this was a little too far away from my gun. Really good for 2 shots. All right, up next, IMR 7828 SSC with a 180 grain Bondstrike and 300 Weatherby. Let's see what it'll do. After the 3-shot group, average velocity of 32.29. Not a good SD. Let's see. Overall, I'm not happy with how the velocity's going. I'll show you the group in a sec. Up next is what shot best last time. This is going to be 55 grains. All right, 55 grains is a little faster today, but a 12 SD, which, it's all right. But an average velocity of, 3,005 feet per second. And I'll show you the group in a sec. It was pretty darn good. All right, here's the first group. That was the first shot cold bore, so maybe that's why it was so big. That looks to be a little over MOA. Not great. That was 54.7 grains. 55. Another half MOA group. So 55 grains seems to be a keeper. This time is a tad bit faster, averaging around 3,000 feet per second. Lastly, Bondstrike with 180 grain. Not bad. 1-inch group. I'd like it to be smaller though. Okay, we're going up a little bit, which this is going to probably be overpressure. It's probably not going to shoot well, but we're going to give it a shot. 180 grain Bondstrike, IMR 7828 SSC 300 Weatherby. Okay, I only shot 2 shots. I probably only should have shot 1. Way overpressure. We almost hit 3,300 feet per second with the first shot. It was like 32.91 and then 32.66. The group is garbage, like 2 inches, maybe more apart, so we're done. All right, up next, still going in 0.3 increments, so 55.3. Never shot this load. Maybe it'll be smaller, I hope so. Let's see what 55.3 did. Average velocity 3,014 feet per second. SD was not good. The group's not too shabby. I'll show you in a sec. 55.3 grains. Not a bad little group. That's another half MOA group. Now, everything's hitting super low. The gun's not sighted in with the suppressor, so I aimed here for that group. So, one thing to bear in mind, suppressors change the point of impact quite a bit. All right, last group of the day, 56 grains. This one's going to be a spicy one. Hopefully it shoots well. All right, last group with the 6.5 PRC and Bondstrike. It was moving. Average velocity 3,063, 8.4 SD. The group's not bad, but I don't like it because it's all vertical. Okay, so I was aiming up here, hitting down here. The first 2 shots were those, and that was the third. So, I don't know, it's probably a vertical string of 3/4 MOA. Not what I wanted. Okay, just got back from the range, and let's go ahead and wrap up this mini 6.5 PRC series. Okay, first group of the day, that was a cold bore shot, and then the next 2 touched. Would this be different if I didn't do a cold bore shot? Maybe. But kind of the idea is, you know, hunting, it's always going to be a cold bore shot. As that sits, I measured it. It was right at 1 inch. Around 2980 feet per second. And then 55 grains, we got an average of 3,005 feet per second and a 0.516 inch group. So we are technically sub half MOA barely. So pretty darn good. And relatively good velocity. Next group up, I went up 0.3 grains. We only went up a little bit in velocity, and we even got a smaller group, technically, a 0.501. So between these two, as you can see, they're hitting the exact same spot, so I'm aiming at these two. So that's a great sign that there's almost no point of impact shift. And they're both half MOA. So for clarification, this 6.5 PRC is not my rifle. It's my dad's. And I was just borrowing his gun because I just really wanted to show people what kind of velocity you can get using the right burn rate powder. Because obviously the 6.5 PRC is a very accurate cartridge. A lot of YouTubers have shown how accurate it is. But I've always been surprised at how slow people are shooting their guns with 24-inch barrels, not the 20-inch barrels. And I just think everyone's using way too slow burning of a powder. So I really wanted just to borrow the gun, show what kind of groups we could get with N560 with a really good bonded bullet. I've been very happy with this. Now, look, these aren't bug hole groups, but they're good groups. I certainly could do more development for this, seating depth more specifically. But I'm pretty happy with what it's doing. Now let's talk velocity. It went up since last time. There's a reason. My dad gave me the brass, and a lot of his brass was already loaded with a Federal 210 primer. I don't have any Federal 210 primer, so after that first range trip, I had to reload, and I had to use a Winchester large rifle primer. So, yep. Not a good idea to change your primer while you're doing load development, but I did. And it seems that even with two different primers, 55 grains seems to be about its sweet spot, and at least 55 to 55.3. Finally, I wanted to show you the hottest load. This was a little faster again, using a Winchester large rifle primer. Last time I shot 56 grains, it averaged 3,050 feet per second, and it got a 0.6 inch group. This one is a 0.8. Not a fan of this vertical stringing. Now, is this a bad group? No. In fact, I would say it's a totally fine hunting load if you really wanted to kind of hot rod your 6.5 PRC a little bit. But at the end of the day, I would pick either 55.3 or 55 grains. And honestly, if I were to ever do this again, I'd probably go right in between these to see what like 55.1 or 55.2 would do. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this video was helpful, or actually the series was helpful. If you're looking for a little more velocity with the right burn rate, I'd highly recommend N560 or H4831SC if you're shooting 140, 143 grain class bullets. Again, I'm really happy with the results. Could we possibly get bug hole groups with seating depth work? Yeah, I'm pretty confident we could. But again, thanks so much for watching.